Behind Squid Game's intense surface, there are behind-the-scenes photos, bloopers, and deleted scenes that paint a vibrant picture of joy and chaos. Actors goofing off, heartfelt moments that didn't make the cut, and hilarious mishaps showed a cast bound by laughter, pulling fans deeper into the show's raw human heart. One of the cutest moments came from a photo featuring the actors who played players 333, 222, and 388. They were clearly having a blast, playfully snapping pictures together. You could almost hear their laughter through the screen. The trio looked like they were in their own little world, striking silly poses and grinning from ear to ear. It was such a wholesome moment, and it showed how close the actors had become while working on the show, especially since their characters faced such intense challenges in the games. There was a picture of Namgyo's actor on the jump rope set, and oh my gosh, it was adorable. He was making a heart shape with his hands under his chin, giving the camera the sweetest, most playful smile. The jump rope game was one of the most tense scenes in the show, but this photo proved that the set wasn't all stress and seriousness. Namgyo's actor looked like he was having the time of his life, and fans couldn't stop gushing over how cute he was. That heart-shaped gesture was like a little gift to everyone who saw the photo, spreading warmth and charm. Another gem was a picture of Daeho's actor with someone whose identity remained a mystery. The two of them looked like they were up to some kind of mischief, and Daeho's actor was just radiating cuteness. His big smile and carefree vibe made the photo so much fun to look at. Fans speculated about who the other person might be, but honestly it didn't even matter, because Daeho's actor stole the show with his infectious energy. It was one of those moments that made you want to jump into the photo and join in on the fun. The maze set for the hide-and-seek game was another spot where the cast let loose. Player 222's actress was a total star in these photos. She posed in all sorts of ways, some dramatic, some goofy, and some just plain adorable. Whether she was striking a fierce, model-like pose or pretending to sneak around the maze, every picture was full of personality. Fans loved how she brought so much energy to the set, and it was clear she was having a blast while filming one of the most nerve-wracking games in the series. Her playful spirit was contagious, and those photos became some of the most iconic behind-the-scenes shots. Group photos were also a big hit. There were so many pictures of the cast members smiling and waving, looking like a big, happy family. These shots often included a mix of actors from different roles, all coming together to share a moment of joy. The camaraderie was palpable, and it was heartwarming to see how much fun they were having, despite the heavy themes of the show. One particularly special group photo featured all the players who made it to the final game in Season 3. They were dressed in sharp suits, standing side by side and beaming with pride. It was a powerful moment because it showed how far their characters had come, and the actors' smiles made it clear they were proud of the journey too. Some of the sweetest photos came from player 222's actress on the jump rope set. One picture caught her napping between takes, and it was just too cute for words. She looked so peaceful, curled up in a chair or maybe even on the floor, completely unaware of the camera. It was such a relatable moment. Everyone's felt that need for a quick nap during a long day. Fans adored this glimpse into her softer side, especially since her character was so fierce and determined in the games. Another photo from the same set showed her taking a selfie in a puddle of fake blood. She was smiling so brightly like she was having the time of her life, even with all that fake gore around her. It was such a quirky, charming moment that perfectly captured her playful personality. Then there were the photos of Minsu's actor on the iconic stairs that led from the dormitory to the game arenas. Those stairs were such a big part of the show, symbolizing the player's descent into the next challenge. But in these behind-the-scenes shots, Minsu's actor looked so innocent and carefree. He was probably just chilling between scenes, but his soft expression and relaxed vibe made the photos feel so warm. Fans couldn't get over how different he seemed from his intense character in the show. It was like seeing a whole new side of him, and it made everyone love him even more. One of the funniest photos had to be of player Player 333's actor lying on the floor like a glamorous female model. He was clearly joking around, striking a dramatic pose with a hand on his hip and a smoldering look on his face. It was absolutely hilarious, and fans couldn't stop laughing at how he owned the moment. The contrast between his serious character in the show and this over-the-top pose was just too good. It showed how much fun the cast was having, even during long filming days, and it made everyone wish they could have been on set to witness it in person. Another heart-melting moment came from a photo of Min-soo and Namgyo's actors hugging on the stairs. They looked so happy and comfortable with each other, like true friends who'd been through a lot together. The hug felt so genuine, and it was a reminder of how close the cast had grown while working on such an intense project. Fans loved seeing this bond, especially since their characters had such complicated relationships in the show. That photo was like a little ray of sunshine showing the love and support that existed behind the scenes. Honestly, it's hard to pick a favorite when every photo is so full of charm and warmth. They reminded us that even in the toughest of times, there's always room for a little laughter and love. The Squid Game bloopers were pure gold, giving fans a peek at the hilarious mishaps that happened behind the intense drama. These moments showed how even a show as dark as Squid Game had its fair share of giggles and goofs on set. From actors breaking character to technical slip-ups, the bloopers were a reminder that the cast and crew were human, and they had a blast making the series. One of the funniest moments came from Season 1, Episode 1, when Gi-hun bumped into Sae-byuk at the gambling house and spilled her coffee. In the scene, Gi-hun's actor Lee Jung-jae ad-libbed by trying to put the straw back into the coffee cup, which wasn't in the script. This caught Sae-byuk's actress Jung Ho-yeon off guard, and she started laughing. She kept her head low, letting her hair cover her face so the camera didn't catch her breaking character. But fans who noticed the blooper loved how natural and silly it was, showing the chemistry between the two actors. Then there were some continuity mix-ups in Season 1 that had fans chuckling. For example, Player 061 was a man during the red light, green light game, but somehow appeared as a woman in the Dalgona game. Similarly, Players 321 and 331 were women in the first game, but when their faces popped up on the floor screen showing player numbers, they were suddenly men. These little errors slipped through the cracks, and while they didn't ruin the show, they gave eagle-eyed viewers a good laugh. In Season 3, a hilarious blooper happened during a tense scene before the final game. The frontman brought Gi-hun to his quarters and offered him a knife to use against the other players while they slept. In the final cut, when Gi-hun pointed the knife at the frontman, he didn't even flinch, staying cool as ice. But during the first few takes, the frontman's actor kept jumping back in fright every time Gi-hun raised the knife. It was so funny because it was the complete opposite of the frontman's unshakable vibe, and you could imagine the crew cracking up as they had to reshoot to get it right. The jump rope game in Season 3 was another blooper goldmine. The rope was entirely CGI, so the actors had to jump in perfect sync, following the sound of a whistle to time their movements. As you can probably guess, this led to a ton of hilarious mistakes. Actors would jump too early or too late, completely out of rhythm, and the whole group would burst into laughter. It must have taken so many tries to get everyone moving together, and those out-of-sync jumps were probably some of the funniest moments on set. Then there was the uprising scene in Season 2, where sharp-eyed fans spotted a cameraman accidentally caught in the background. It was a quick moment, but it had people giggling at how even a show as polished as Squid Game could have such a classic slip-up. Another great blooper came from a scene where Kang No-yul shot an already dead player twice. The gunshot startled some of the workers on set, who weren't expecting the extra shots, and their surprised reactions ruined the take. They had to reshoot, but you can bet everyone was laughing at the workers' jumpy responses. The deleted scenes from Squid Game were like hidden treasures that gave fans a glimpse of what could have been. These moments, cut from the final show for various reasons, added depth, changed perspectives, or even caused real-world chaos. From surprising character reveals to alternate endings, The deleted scenes sparked endless curiosity among fans about why they didn't make the cut and how they might have shaped the story. One fascinating deleted scene from Season 1 involved an earlier introduction to the frontman. In this scene, we actually saw his face, which was a huge deal since his identity was such a mystery in the final version. He walked into a room holding a goldfish in a water bag, and it was such a quirky, humanizing moment for a character who was otherwise so cold and commanding. Fans who heard about this scene were bummed. It got cut because it would have added a whole new layer to the frontman's character. Nobody knows why it was removed, but it probably had to do with keeping his identity a secret for longer to build suspense. Another big deleted scene from Season 1 was an alternate ending where Gi-hun got on the plane to go see his daughter. In the final cut, we saw him turn back, determined to take down the game, but in this version, he chose family over revenge. It was a softer, more hopeful ending, and it would have completely changed the tone of the series. Fans were split on this one. Some loved the idea of Gi-hun prioritizing his daughter, while others felt the final ending fit the show's gritty vibe better. Either way, it was wild to think about how different the story could have gone. Then there was a deleted scene from Season 3 involving Thanos' team in the six-legged pentathlon. This game sounded intense, with teams tied together and moving as one. But for some reason, the scene never made it into the show. Fans were disappointed because it would have been awesome to see Thanos' group struggle through such a chaotic challenge. Maybe it was cut for pacing or because it didn't add enough to the story, but it left everyone wondering how it would have looked on screen. One of the sweetest deleted scenes came during Player 222's childbirth scene in Season 3. Just before the baby was delivered, there was a moment where Hyunju held and kissed Player 222's hand to encourage her. It was such a tender, heartfelt gesture, showing the bond between the characters in a high-stakes moment. Fans who learned about this scene wished it had stayed, because it highlighted Hyunju's compassion and made the childbirth even more emotional. It's unclear why it was cut, but it might have been to keep the scene focused on the intensity of the birth itself. Another deleted moment from Season 1 caused a real-world stir. In the original cut, the card Gi-hun got from the recruiter showed a phone number that turned out to be a real number belonging to a Korean businesswoman. After the show aired, she got thousands of calls from fans, which was a total nightmare for her. The creators had to edit out the number in later versions to stop the chaos. It was a crazy oversight, and fans couldn't believe a mistake like that slipped through. Finally, for the end of Season 3, the writer originally planned for Gi-hun to survive, but at some point he changed his mind, and the final cut took a darker turn. This decision shocked fans and sparked endless debates about whether Gi-hun's survival would have been better. These deleted scenes showed how much thought went into crafting Squid Game, and they made fans appreciate the final version even more, flaws and all.